welcome to the Catholic History Podcast, where we study different events related to Catholic history. Today we'll be talking about Saint Dominic. Saint Dominic, born in 1170 in Caleruga, Spain, was the founder of the Dominican Order and a prominent figure in the history of the Catholic Church. Born Domingo de Guzman, he was the son of Felix de Guzman, a nobleman, and his wife, Juana of Aza. Dominic's early years were marked by a deeply religious upbringing, instilled by his mother and his uncle, a priest who guided his education. It is even said that before his birth, his mother had a vision of a dog holding a torch in its mouth, symbolizing the light of the gospel that her son would bring to the world. In his late teens, Dominic joined the Canons Regular of Osma, a religious order that followed the rule of St. Augustine. As a member of this order, Dominic lived a life of prayer, penance, and study. In 1203, he accompanied his bishop, Diego de Acebo, on a diplomatic mission to Denmark, which led them through southern France. While traveling, they encountered the Albigensian heresy, a dualist belief system that rejected Catholic teachings and threatened the unity of the Church. This encounter spurred Dominic's lifelong commitment to preaching the gospel and combating heresy. To address the Albigensian heresy, Dominic sought to establish an order of preachers who would live a simple and austere life, mirroring the lifestyle of the heretics and distinguishing themselves from the wealthy and powerful clergy. With the support of Bishop Diego, Dominic gathered a group of followers in Toulouse, France, and formed the first Dominican community in 1215. The following year, Pope Innocent III granted preliminary approval for the new religious order, which was officially recognized as the Order of Preachers, also known as the Dominican Order, by Pope Honorius III in 1216. Dominic's vision for the Dominican Order was a focus on education and scholarship, alongside preaching and missionary work. He believed that well-educated and disciplined preachers could effectively counteract heresy and promote orthodoxy. Consequently, he emphasized the importance of a solid theological foundation for the members of his order. In 1218, Dominic founded the first Dominican house of studies in Toulouse, which became a model for similar institutions throughout Europe. The Dominicans played a crucial role in the growth and development of universities, often serving as professors and administrators. Throughout his life, St. Dominic remained dedicated to his mission, tirelessly traveling and preaching throughout Europe. His charisma and deep faith attracted many to the Dominican Order, including St. Albert the Great and St. Thomas Aquinas, two of the most influential theologians in Catholic history. Despite facing challenges, Dominic maintained his zeal and commitment to the gospel. He continued to foster the growth of his order, which soon extended to Spain, Italy, and beyond. St. Dominic died on August 6, 1221, in Bologna, Italy. His impact on the Catholic Church in the world was profound, with the Dominican Order becoming a leading force in the intellectual and spiritual life of the Church. St. Dominic was canonized in 1234 by Pope Gregory IX, and his feast day is celebrated on August 8th. Today, the Dominican Order continues to be known for its dedication to preaching, teaching, and the pursuit of truth, carrying on the legacy of its founder. But let's learn more about Dominic's theology. What contributions did he himself make to Catholic theology? While St. Dominic himself did not author any major theological works, his contributions to Catholic theology are significant in that he laid the foundation for the Dominican Order, which produced some of the most important theologians in the history of the Church. St. Dominic's commitment to education, intellectual rigor, and the pursuit of truth laid the groundwork for the Dominican Order's impact on Catholic theology. St. Dominic's vision for the Dominican Order centered around the importance of education, particularly in theology. Recognizing the need for well-educated and disciplined preachers to effectively combat heresy and promote orthodoxy, Dominic emphasized a strong theological education for his followers. His focus on intellectual formation in the Dominican Order led to the establishment of the first Dominican house of studies in Toulouse in 1218. This institution, and the many that followed, became centers of theological and philosophical study that greatly influenced the development of Catholic theology. St. Dominic's emphasis on the value of study and intellectual engagement influenced the intellectual pursuits of the Dominicans who followed him. Dominican theologians like St. Albert the Great and St. Thomas Aquinas played a significant role in shaping Catholic theology. St. Thomas Aquinas in particular is considered one of the greatest theologians, if not the single greatest theologian, in the history of the Catholic Church. His masterwork Summa Theologica synthesized Aristotelian philosophy with Christian thought, and provided a comprehensive and systematic account of Catholic theology that continues to be studied and debated today. The Dominican Order's focus on preaching and teaching led to the development of innovative methods for communicating complex theological concepts. Dominicans utilized a scholastic method, a systematic approach to theology that relied on rigorous questioning and logical argumentation to engage with theological issues. This method, honed by Dominican scholars, became the dominant mode of theological inquiry during the Middle Ages, shaping the development of Catholic theology. Thus, while Dominic himself did not personally contribute major theological writings, his influence on theology was profound. His vision for the Dominican Order, with its emphasis on intellectual formation and the pursuit of truth, laid the groundwork for the development of Catholic theology and the subsequent centuries. His legacy endures through the intellectual contributions of the Dominican Order, which has produced some of the most important theologians and philosophers in the history of the Catholic Church. But what has happened to the Dominicans in the years since? Since its founding, the Dominican Order has continued to evolve and adapt to the changing needs of church and society. Over the centuries, it has played a significant role in various aspects of the Church's history, from intellectual pursuits to missionary work and social justice. During the Middle Ages, the Dominicans were at the forefront of intellectual life in the Church. They produced several renowned theologians that we've already mentioned, who became pillars of Catholic thought. Their writings, particularly the Summa, helped to shape the theology and philosophy of the time. Dominicans also played a crucial role in the establishment and development of universities, like the University of Paris and the University of Cologne, where they often served as professors and administrators. In the 15th and 16th centuries, the Dominican Order expanded its missionary work to the New World. Dominican friars accompanied Spanish explorers and settlers, aiming to spread the gospel and convert indigenous peoples to Christianity. Bartolomé de las Casas, a Dominican friar, became an advocate for the rights of the native populations, denouncing the injustices committed against them and seeking to reform the Spanish colonial system. The Dominicans were also involved in the Catholic Church's efforts to combat Protestantism during the Reformation. The order contributed to the Counter-Reformation, the Catholic Church's response to the spread of Protestantism through preaching, scholarship, and reform. Dominican theologians and scholars participated in the Council of Trent, an ecumenical council that sought to address the doctrinal and disciplinary issues within the Church. In more recent times, the Dominicans have contributed to preaching, education, and social justice. They have been involved in numerous social justice movements and have worked to address the needs of marginalized communities, such as the poor, the sick, and the imprisoned. They have been active in promoting peace, human rights, and environmental stewardship. The Dominican Order has also been influential in the realm of the arts, with Dominican friars and sisters being patrons, creators, and promoters of art and architecture throughout history. Dominicans have contributed to sacred music, visual arts, and literature, leaving a lasting impact on the artistic heritage of the Church. Today, they remain a vital part of the Catholic Church, with its members serving in various roles across the globe. They are engaged in preaching, teaching, pastoral care, and missionary work in over 100 countries, adapting their approach to the needs of contemporary society. Their dedication to the pursuit of truth and the spread of the gospel continues to be a testament to the enduring vision of St. Dominic. Thank you for listening. If you liked what you heard and want to hear more about Catholic history, please subscribe.